Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, the newest patch for Ultimate Admiral, which adds a campaign to the game. And so we are playing through, we've been doing this for the last couple of days, but we're playing through the campaign as the Germans. As a reminder, the campaign only has two sides in it currently, and you are always at war. So basically the campaign is not sort of the far-flung, multiple nations, arms building contest, interwar periods that lead up to a war that then you fight. The campaign right now, based on the very first campaign patch, starts in 1890, allows you to play as either the Germans or the British, that's it, and allows you to fight a war between them. So you do all of the campaign stuff like research and development, designing ships, managing budgets, figuring out how much you want to train your crews and things like that. But what you don't do is you don't kind of have the breather between the wars, or seeing how the wars could influence your country, once you win or lose a war. So it's a very focused look at the campaign, but we've been doing it for a couple of days now. We are playing as the Germans, and we are losing the war at the moment, at least based on victory points to the British. We have, I don't know if it shows anywhere where it actually gives you your losses. That would be kind of nice. I don't think there is a screen where it shows you like total casualties or ship sunk or anything like that. I don't see that, but I believe we've lost 2 heavy cruisers, and maybe a light cruiser. I think just 2 heavy cruisers. The British have lost 1 or 2 heavy cruisers, a couple of light cruisers, and a torpedo boat. And we've lost a few merchant ships as well. So that being said, it is May of 1890, so we're in the 5th year of the war. We are currently building a group of 4 heavy cruisers and 8 light cruisers based on some new designs that we have built. The Butcher class light cruiser is a gunboat cruiser here, 4-inch guns, which were very popular in this period of time for the Germans. Historically, I believe the Germans used almost exclusively, I want to say 4.1-inch guns on their light cruisers. Like, I want to say that was like past 1900. It was a very popular caliber. And so it's a reasonably fast design at 21 knots, faster than anything I have, faster than anything I've seen the British have. But it doesn't have any torpedo tubes, so that may end up being a critical limiting factor. At the time I designed it, I thought, hey, torpedoes kind of suck right now. Let's go for speed and firepower. As I've been finding out in every one of these battles so far, it seems like torpedoes are the only thing that is effectively sinking ships. And so, I don't know, maybe that was a mistake. We've also designed the Seydlitz class, which is a class of heavy cruisers or armored cruisers, CAs, cruiser armored, that has 4 8-inch guns as their main battery and 2 turrets, 1 fore, 1 aft. And then I'm not sure what else does it have. It has 5 it has 2 5-inch guns, 8 4-inch guns, and 2 1-inch guns, with a reasonable amount of armor up to 5 inches, and reasonably fast at 19.5 knots. I don't know that they carry torpedoes. I don't think they do. And so that's the current ships that are being built. I think based on everything we've seen in our current finances, we are in the red, if you will, at this moment. So if we actually look at the budget every turn here, we are pulling a negative, what is it? Negative $1.5 million is our monthly balance right now. So I can't really afford to do much more in terms of spending. We have $10 million in the bank, so we've got a buffer for several months. But it would be nice to design maybe a torpedo boat. We can always pause some of those other warships too, or slow things down. So why don't we do that? Let's go in and let's design a new torpedo boat. Okay. So we're going to go in and we're going to design a new torpedo boat here. Torpedo boat is limited to 200 tons at the moment. You have to research additional hulls to unlock different sizes. So we are limited to a 200-ton torpedo boat. You can see here is the sort of hull of our ship already predefined for us based on the particular torpedo boat hull that we've researched. We're going to need to go ahead and do a main tower, I believe, just one, no rear tower, just a front tower. We'll go with the lightest one, front tower 1. I just don't know where to put it. I guess maybe kind of more in the middle. I'm not sure how the weight offset's going to work here. Funnels. We'll do a dual. Oh, that's in the wrong spot if I want to do that. Let's move that forward. Let's do the funnels here. So we can do standard funnels, which we can probably fit 2. We can do very small funnels, which we might be able to fit 3. I want to make this thing fast. I don't know if I can do this or not, but we're going to try and see if we can make it 25 knots. So that means our engine efficiency here is currently at, well, if I place the small funnel, it'll be at 50%. If I place the standard funnel, it'll be at 57. So 2 funnels is all I'll need. I could place a third, but I don't think I need that. Yeah, we're at 100% engine efficiency. 25 knots will make us able to run circles around the enemy here. Torpedo launchers, deck torpedo tubes. Can I not? So that's part of the problem, is I'd like deck torpedo tubes on the front of the ship, but I might have to put them on the rear of the ship. I don't have a ton of weight to play with here. For offset weight 100%. Well, let's try. What if we move these back a little bit? Can I put a torpedo tube on the front? No, they're going to have to be on the back anyway. All right, let's move these items back then. Also, if you want to move and place slightly off the sort of designated spots on the hull, you just use your control, hold control down, and it lets you sort of free place the items. So I don't have like multiple tube launchers, just individual deck launchers. That's 100%. Wow. Balancing the weight on these things is going to be a bitch. It's going to be way overweight too. So aft is 65% there. Okay. Aft offset. Oh, wait. Crap. Too much weight in the rear. Remove one of the funnels for some weight. I could, but my engine efficiency goes down. I mean, we're way overweight anyway at 25 knots. What about 24? So it not only saves me like 3 tons. Fuck. I already did the light tower. I can obviously get rid of the 4-inch gun. That'll save quite a bit of weight. And I could put a 2-inch gun, but then I still have the whole aft offset weight problem. What if we go with the what's the percentage on just one of these? %. So we could go with the small funnels, but we're still 19 tons overweight and heavily weighted down in the rear of the ship. I wonder if I could do it on a midship. So we go like put the funnels a little bit further back. Then I'm not overweight yet. This is 16 tons. Put this guy in the middle of the ship. For offset is 100%. Aft offset goes up to 33%. Switch this to a 3-incher maybe. Aft offset's 11. For offset. Well, we could just go with an unbalanced ship from a weight perspective. 33% is pretty bad, though. All right, 12%. Not as bad. Let's get rid of the bulkheads. Screw bulkheads. Save ourselves a bunch of weight by getting rid of bulkheads here. Aft offset's still 14%. I've got 5 tons to spare. So that's a 2-incher. Now the 4 offset's too heavy. Okay. Just playing around here a little bit. Man, the torpedoes are so... Dual funnels 15. What if we do this? God, that's so huge. $75%? I don't know what I'm doing, dee-da, dee-da. All right. Funnel should not be placed in front of the main tower. That's fine. That actually is not terrible. So, 2 funnels, 1 torpedo tube in the rear, 1 in the midship. I don't know what kind of angle this firing arc gives us, really. A 3-inch gun on the front. We still have 1 ton to save. 24 knots, which will be considerably faster than anything else out there. It's based on engine efficiency, Pascabar. So if we were to drop one of these funnels, the engine efficiency drops to 63%. And so then our acceleration is reduced by 2.5%. Our torque at high RPM is negative 25%, and operational range drops by 1%. These are standard funnels. If we went with very small standard funnels, we could potentially save a little bit of weight. But then we've got a 4 offset weight problem rather than an aft. We do save 2 more tons, getting us down to 197, and we still have the 100% engine efficiency. It's 1 torpedo per. I don't know what our magazine is. Usually there's some reloads in there. We could probably increase our speed a little bit with this. So we could probably get us up to like, what if we drop this 3-incher and put a 2-incher on the front? Aft offsets by 15. Fudge. Okay. Okay, so this is remarkably balanced. We threw things around a little bit. We have a standard funnel and a very small funnel. We have 2 torpedo tubes here. And do the ships need 100% engine efficiency? No. So if you don't have 100% efficiency, you get some penalties to those stats that I showed you. So acceleration, torque at high RPM, operational radius. But if you do have 100 engine efficiency, you can see here we get a big bonus to our acceleration, a big bonus to torque at high RPM, and a big bonus to operational range. So it's all based on trade-offs. You don't have to have a perfectly optimized design for your funnels, but it's a good idea because you get some pretty big benefits. So I actually really like this. This is a pretty balanced design for 1% for offset or weight offset, which is minimal. A 2-inch gun on the front, 2 torpedo tubes here, 1 amidships, 1 in the rear of the ship, 2 funnels, a very small and a small. Our front tower 1, and then we've got a 25-knot speed torpedo boat, which I'm assuming is fast enough to have a considerable advantage over anything we might be going against. And so, you know, I think we're okay. So after the first enemy salvo, you're just going to have a small funnel. Hey, you know, funnels can take damage, and that does affect your boat's you know, combat potential. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this torpedo boat design. What should we name the class? I'll take votes from the chat. Actually, I probably should check a few other things first. So, coal, natural boilers, steam basic engines. We haven't upgraded any of that. We can go with standard shells. We could go with light. It would save us a little bit of weight, but it would throw some of the balancing off. Saving us a ton of weight doesn't really do us any good, so we can go with standard shells. The 2-inch gun really isn't all that important, so if I wanted to, I could go with light shells and reduced ammo. But just for weight reasons, I think we'll keep it as is. We could go with more torpedo rounds, which would add 22 tons of weight, which there's no way I'm going to save that. So we'll keep it with standard. You know, if you go with reduced, you have a lesser chance of torpedoes going off or being detonated. So we could go with reduced and then have a much faster ship, but we'd have a limited amount of ammo. You know, I don't know how many times this torpedo boat's going to be able to reload its ammunition. I think on the cruisers, when you have 2 torpedo tubes, you get 10 torpedoes. I imagine the magazine's smaller on a torpedo boat. So, like, I don't know if reduced torpedoes are going to result in, like, just 2 torpedoes per boat. It is an intriguing idea, though. I'm not going to do anything with reloading because there's no reason to upgrade the 2-inch gun. And then the torpedo sizes are all stuck. There's no armor on this thing, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Crew quarters are cramped. I don't know that that does much on a ship of this size. I mean, you take more losses, but you're not going to take much damage anyway. In theory, how fast could we get this thing? So we get this up to 28 knots if we went with reduced torpedo ammo. So that's 3 knots. Ouch, Neuhauser. It's 1890, Sean Mack. So we could, this thing would be damn fast. The problem is it's going to probably have 2 torpedoes and that's it. Maybe 1 reload. But a 28 knot torpedo boat, what's 2 plus 1? How do you know how much ammo you have? Does it tell you anywhere? Although you can see if we jump it up to 28 knots, the engine efficiency is down to 76%. So the torque at high RPM is a penalty. Acceleration doesn't quite get the bonus, and operational range doesn't quite get the bonus. Still, it's not too big a penalty. Also, 4 weight offset gets thrown off a bit. 1, 2 plus 1 reload? Is that really? Because, okay. I just don't know what the plus 1 means. Is that just the base tech? So, what if we went with 27 knots? And could I go with 26? No, I got to go all the way down to 25. So it's either 28. Do we get a penalty at this weight offset? I could drop the gun. No, it requires at least 1 gun. Game says for it to be a legal design, it requires a gun. We could do 2 guns, amidships. That'll throw the weight off. We could reduce the range a little bit. That throws the weight off again, though. Although, wow, you save a lot of weight by reducing range. Enhanced reloading. Yeah, fuel is heavy. So we can get up to 28.3 knots. Actually, let's do this. Let's go back to 28. Standard small, very small. Let's go to funnels, small. There's a 2-ton difference. It does help the engine efficiency up a bit. Weight offset. We can move where the torpedo tube is to throw our weight offset off a bit. Okay. Ship is still overweight, and we need to save 1 ton. I can do that easily by dropping the range just slightly. Okay. So I'm liking this ship more and more. We can get up to 29. Oh, not that. 29.2, 29.3, 29.4. We can get up to 29.4 knots. All right, so we've got a 29.4 knot ship. Engine efficiency is 75%. We did switch from a very small and small to a small and small. Gives us a little bit better engine efficiency. Torque at high RPMs are still a negative 12%. Acceleration's only at 14%, but I'm probably going to be going full bore the whole time. I don't know if torque... Does anybody know, does torque influence the ability to turn quickly? Is that what it does? Or I'm not really sure. But overall, in 1890, the ship's freaking fast. We're playing as Germany, Sean Mac. All right. Fine, we'll name it the Wolfpack class, just to appease everybody in the chat. Commissar Vistu, by the way, thank you for the resub there. Appreciate the support. Sean Mack as well. I don't know why my notifications are off. And Red Octobear, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate the support as well. So 3 subs, 2 resubs, and a new sub. Thank you guys. I definitely appreciate that. Let me go ahead and turn my alerts back on. I don't know why those are off. And yeah. So the alerts are back on. And Gentleman Forster, thanks for the follow. All right, so it is the Wolfpack class. She is a 200-ton torpedo boat that makes 29.4 knots, has a range of 4,100 kilometers, minimum bulkheads. She carries 2 15-inch torpedo tubes with reduced ammunition complement. She also has a 2-inch gun at the front of the ship, a single front tower, which is open and exposed to the environments. She is a Ferrari that will pack an initial punch and then die promptly, presumably. And let's go ahead and save the design. And then we're going to build some of these things. I have no idea when the game is going to be released. Karma, probably a long time from now. I believe they're hoping to enter early access on Steam later this year, but in terms of the final version of the game, it's going to be a ways away. All right. So this thing costs 166.2. Is that construction per month or upkeep? It's actually cheaper than our existing torpedo boat that only makes 23 knots. So that's funny. I'm going to build 10 of these things. We only have like 9 torpedo boats in the entire fleet. Meanwhile, we've got the battleship Kaiser in repairing for 2 more months, Kaiser Wilhelm de Grosse for 1 more month, the heavy cruiser Irene for a month, the Thor for 2 months. We're building 4 of these heavy cruisers. That'll be done in 6 months. Light cruisers Falke and Gear, both repairing for 2 and 1 month respectively. 3 light cruisers being constructed over the next 6 months. And now 10 of these Wolfpack class torpedo boats that are going to be constructed in 6 months. Why do I not? Can I name these ships? Oh, come on. I can't rename the ships? So it automatically is going to pick the names for all these different ships in here? We're going to stick these guys as close to the North Sea as possible. I hate the way that some of these tooltips work. It just blocks out what I'm trying to look at. But we're going to put 5 of them in Wilhelmshaven. And then we're going to put 5 of them at, we think, Emden? I've kind of made Emden like my secondary port. Kiel might not be a bad place either. Justifying my firebombing of Emden and Gary Grigsby's bombing the Reich. Emden is always one of those tempting targets early in the war because it's kind of on the coast. Or is on the coast. All right, so finances, probably not great. I don't know. It does reflect the new changes there. Okay. All right. New technology, hull protection. Torpedo protection 1. The standard torpedo protection reduces chances of getting sunk from a torpedo hit. Okay. So that's a new technology unlocked. The British Empire lost 2 transports in the sea region of the North Sea. And it looks like we have a couple of battles pending for this turn. A convoy battle in the Netherlands. Why are we fighting there? A heavy cruiser and 2 light cruisers versus 1 heavy of theirs and 2. And then where's the battle? What? We're right off the coast of Liverpool with a single heavy cruiser? Okay. All right, everybody. I'm actually going to go ahead and jump ahead in this video, and we're going to skip this very next battle, which is a battle between a heavy cruiser and a light cruiser, because it ended up being like a 25-minute long fight between the Irene and the Gloucester, but there was no result. It was just sort of long-range firing. I think I took a torpedo hit, but it was a very frustrating fight because there was just an incredible grind and nothing of note came out of it. And it was a very minor defeat. So we're going to jump ahead because I think this is not a great 20 minutes to watch. So we'll jump ahead to the end of this battle, which ends up being a minor defeat. So a very minor defeat. Both ships suffer light damage. That was pointless. All right, British Empire, 1 heavy cruiser, 2 light cruisers versus 1 German heavy cruiser, 1 German light cruiser. They outweigh us pretty considerably. We have 15 transports on this map. Dear God. Yeah, I'll have to replenish the crew on that ship. They took a fair bit of punishment. What was more painful, the defeat or how long it took? Probably a little bit of both, right? 15 transports. God. Well, we got to defend these guys. Where are the transports? The Von der Tann. That's a pretty... The Derflinger. Gotta love these, like, historically famous battle cruisers that are... it's just a merchantman. A World War II merchantman. It's pretty cool to see all these ships on the map, though. I don't get to control them, actually. These are all AI controlled. All I get to control is my 2 cruisers. All right. Southwest. So our cruisers are out front of the transports. Our heavy cruiser has a higher top speed than our Protected or light. Oh, there's the enemy. Turn in. Greer's going to go for a torpedo charge. While the Admiral sure stands off. All right. Third enemy ship. All right. Wow, we're already scoring hits or being scored on. All right, this is the heavy cruiser, I think, leading the way. Oh my God, my light cruiser's already dead. 2 engines knocked out. I think I see it. Floats down to 60. Aggressive torpedo usage. Oh, fuck. Turn away from it. Let me torpedo. Yeah, they got me. More torpedoes. Ah! Can you fire your torpedoes? Yes, we got a hit on the enemy light cruiser. At least. Oh my God, he's dying so fast. Oh, another hit on him. I think. Boom! Multiple torpedo hits on the Minerva. I assume she's going to sink. Yep, Minerva is sinking. So Prey 2 is the Greer. Where did the heavy cruiser go? Oh, wait, the Admiral Shear is amongst all... Oh, God, this is such a bad job. Ah! I didn't realize I sailed the Admiral Shear in that way. I just sailed it like right through the enemy line. We broke their line. Nelson would be proud. Oh, that was so suicidal. Light cruiser, can you fire any torpedoes over here? No, you're sinking. Well, we got one of the enemy and they got one of us. Did I ram him? The Minerva? I didn't even, like, it was, I made the mistake of not slowing my time down, and so it all happened so fast. Stick to what you know, land combat. Don't tell the Kaiser that. We are very good at warships, yes? Why are we not getting any hits on that? That was like just ricochets on those 6-inchers? Or they didn't hit? Good thing is the enemy torpedoes have to slow down and reload. So they fired their torpedoes and obliterated my light cruiser, but... saved my armored cruiser for the moment. 999. 43 penetration and flooding. Admiral Shear has an engine down, which is going to be real bad when the enemy torpedoes are back, because my heavy cruiser can't maneuver for shit. They also have 8-inch guns to my 6. They have up to 8-inch armor. I do not. Their heavy cruisers are vastly superior to my own. So that's when you speed run a battle, guys, the way this thing started out. I don't regret charging with my light cruiser, but when you speed run, for no reason, you do stupid things like getting your heavy cruiser in that action as well. So hopefully it was entertaining at least to watch. Where's that enemy light? Still back their way. IK Limbs, thank you very much for the bits. Appreciate the support. All right, he's turning in to me. He's out at just inside a kilometer range. Okay. So he's going to turn into me, presumably to fire a torpedo. I'm going to turn away before it's too late. What's the Drake at? 9684. I'm actually doing a good amount of flotation damage on him. Probably speed up a little bit. And we're already turning, but he is firing torpedoes. That's what the exclamation point represents. So torpedoes spotted. We're doing what you're supposed to do. We're turning away. All ahead flank. I think those are going to miss. Thankfully, we were already in the midst of a turn. Enemy light cruisers behind us, but more than a kilometer out, so they can't hit us with their torpedoes at this range. All right, so the enemy's down to 2 torpedoes on its heavy cruiser. Looks like they repaired its flotation damage. All right, we're going to angle back. And because I don't want to get that light cruiser, I'm stuck between the light cruiser and the heavy cruiser. I really just want the battle to end at this point, if I can. Save my transports. You know, I've distracted the enemy at least. I don't want to let them chase down all those transports. % chance of a hit. Yeah, we're definitely not faring super well in this fight. But hey, we avoided a torpedo, so that's a win, right? I wonder if we'd be better off shooting HE at this guy. How large is the German Navy in this? Crew and ships? I mean, it's however large you build it to be. Right now, we've got about 30 ships, 9 battleships. It's 1890, remember, so. It's not intended to be a historical scenario, though. So keep that in mind. All right, we're flooding 79 structure, 85 flood. There it's 88 100. Good God, if you guys just had good aim. I'm out ahead of the CL, so I don't think he can hit me out this way. Has that CL fired any of its torpedoes? No, it's got 4 left. 288 main. We're just considerably outgunned, especially because the enemy CL has bigger guns than our heavy cruiser, our armored cruiser. And I use those terms interchangeably, and I know that drives some people mad, but it's what I do. I keep overpenning. Sorry. Let's switch to HE and see if that improves. So only 16 on the damage for the hit, but it did start a fire, so maybe that'll do some structure damage. Secondary tower damaged and a fire started there, so another enemy fires, or another fire started on the enemy ship. Another fire started. Looks like switching to HE definitely at least good in that sense. I'm angled away, so I'm assuming that's one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of ricochets off his light cruiser. I also am out ahead of his heavy, so I think that gives me a good angle to prevent him from firing torpedoes at me, given that they're broadside torpedo mounts. I'm not sure he'd have the ability to rotate far enough to get to me. Ooh, steering hit. Bad fire started on my heavy cruiser. Yadam to Yadam we were, you see. Burn enemy down with HE. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly, and especially for this era, That was certainly a way to reduce effectiveness. Maybe not super effective at sinking enemy ships, but definitely effective in sort of rendering them ineffective. HE shells played havoc on the Russians at Tsushima, I believe. Oh, shit. Enemy torpedo. I got too close. Hard to... starboard? Port? Whatever. Hard to port. I don't think we're going to avoid it. Oh, yes, we just barely avoided the torpedo as it runs astride our broadside. Good job, lads. Swell time, or swell eyes to the lookout there. Oh, God. Our float and structure damage are down in the 60s now. So we are taking quite a bit of punishment. But at least the enemy wasted another torpedo. They only have one left. Not sure that matters. We're going to get sunk by good old-fashioned gunfire, probably. How much longer am I planning on going? Like the stream? Probably at least another hour. Sean Mack. Ricochet there. Fire. He's at 66. I'm at 65 for structure. Flotation is a bit of a worry here. We're losing a lot of sway. Our engines are dying. I can't evacuate from this battle. We're going to lose this heavy cruiser. 62, 68, 65. All right, his torpedoes are about half reloaded. We are making some improvements to our speed. Okay. Have fun, Sean Mac. I don't know anything about what you just said, but have a good time. All right, we're flooding again. Getting real close to sinking. We're taking a lot of penetration damage. And there we go. So do they get credit for sinking our transports, or do those at least survive? The transports all survive because the battle automatically ends when I lose our warships. So we lost 2 ships. They lost 1. They just outgunned us there. I mean, 3 ships to 2. And then 2-1 at the end there. I'm glad we took one of their light cruisers with us. You can see as a result of those defeats, our unrest is up to 3, prestige -2. I wish I could just be like, guys, sail out and fight these bastards in a good old-fashioned fleet action. But I can't. One positive thing is losing those ships cuts down on our upkeep a bit. Jay Winokur, thanks for the follow. Resupply Irene. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, Part 3, and our look at the campaign, which just released its first patch a couple of days ago. Hopefully that was an entertaining battle. I will admit to all of the angry commenters out there, I blasted through that battle and did not play that very well. I should have paid more attention. All of you are correct. But I hope at least it was fun to watch, or at least funny to watch. Anyway, guys, until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.